Greetings, I'm Zachary Hepner. I'm pleased to share this Dvar Torah with you for Parashat Kedoshim. There is much to discuss about Molekh. Let's touch upon the topic. The prohibition against Molekh worship is mentioned 3 times in the Pentateuch. Leviticus 18, it's elaborated in Leviticus 20, which is Parashat Kedoshim, and it's also mentioned, but without name, in Deuteronomy 18. Because it does not specifically mention the word sacrifice, but rather maavir, which is to pass or pass over, it's certainly an unusual word to describe child sacrifice, maavir. And its ambiguity leads to an unclear explanation of what it is, both amongst secular scholars and amongst the rabbis. It either means a passing over ritual, which does or does not result in the death of an infant, or actually it means child sacrifice. A possible mention of child sacrifice and Molekh is independently found by archaeologists in Carthage. Parenthetically, don't you find it ironic that the most famous child sacrifice, the binding of Isaac, also uses an ambiguous word, to bind? God does not tell Abraham to sacrifice, but rather Vha'aleihu. Not so fast. I think that the majority of commentators will agree that Vha'aleihu would indicate an actual sacrifice. Nonetheless, this word Vha'aleihu is food for thought. But anyhow, back to Molekh. I feel that the key to what Molekh worship actually is found because of the ambiguous word maavir. Venerating the underworld Molekh deity is done properly with child sacrifice. Naturally, and I don't feel that proof is necessary, many people would like to either venerate Molekh or venerate the mores of their neighbors, their pagan neighbors, but they are uninterested and unwilling to actually pay the proper membership fee by sacrificing their children. Those people, pro forma, pass their child in a manner that's socially acceptable without actually losing a child in the process. The Torah is aware of both classes of parents, and by switching the word sacrifice with the word maavir, the Torah includes a catch-all prohibition. Further support of this position may be found in the robust prohibition of Molekh, which is in Parashat Kedoshim, the only location where the prohibition is more than just a passing remark. I'd like to read the following 4 verses. Say further to the Israelite people, anyone among the Israelites, or among the strangers residing in Israel, who give any offspring to Molekh, shall be put to death. The people of the land shall pelt the person with stones, am haaretz. And I will set my face against this party, whom I will cut off from amongst the people for having given their offspring to Molekh, and so defiled my sanctuary and profaned my holy name. And if the people of the land should shut or avert their eyes to that party's giving offspring to Molekh, and should not put that person to death, I myself will set my face against that party's kin as well, and I will cut off from among their people both that person and all who follow in going astray against Molekh. More time and space is spent condemning the passive neighbors than the actual Molekh worshipper. The use of the word maavir suggests that not only the pro forma passing of an infant is itself condemnable, but the entire culture and mores are condemnable. The Sifra and Midrash Lechach Tov ask, and against his family? Rabbi Shimon asked, how did his family sin? We are hereby taught that there is no family with a tax gouger where all are not tax gougers, where there is a thief where all are not thieves, for they mechapeh, they cover up for him. Sifra continues, and I shall cut him off. What is the intent of him? He is to be cut off, the parent, and not his family, but they are to suffer yisurin, afflictions. In no uncertain terms does the Torah condemn the passive act of eye averting. Eye averting is permitted in the free world today, but eye averting is punishable, albeit a lesser punishment, with yisurin, afflictions, and not death. Many simultaneous lessons are taking place at the same time. A parent venerates the death cult of Molekh by sacrificing his infant. Another person wants to get along with his pagan neighbors by venerating Molekh, but keeping the child. The Torah demands an unusual punishment. Death by am haaretz. This means death by mob. The followers of God's Torah must not tolerate the death cult for even a second. The opposite of the am haaretz is the eye averter. That person tolerated the death cult, but did not participate. But the Torah lays it on thick. Following the mob death of that parent, the parent is additionally cut off with karet. As a pun, this parent's carrot is unrooted from his spiritual ground. The Am Haaretz has acted praiseworthily, but the eye averter is punished with afflictions. Afflictions are sufficient to teach the eye averters that tolerance of pagan mores might be unadvisable, but tolerance of the death cult is utterly condemnable. Let me repeat myself, this time with implications against the enemies of Israel today, who are death cult worshippers. Not only is the practice of the death cult condemnable, but all the eye averters of the death cult are also condemnable. The language of the eye averting is strong. It's double language. V'im ha'aleim ya'alimu am haaretz et einehem. If the local neighbors actively avert their eyes, the Molekh worship may take place behind closed doors or underground where there are no gazing eyes. Any upstanding member of the Am Haaretz, hoi polloi, is charged with charging and ending the atrocity and not to engage in eye aversion. This Dvar Torah would not have been possible had the Torah simply said, don't sacrifice your infant. But the Torah intentionally uses ambiguous language to the nature of the sacrifice, who is doing the ritual, and places much more emphasis on the Am Haaretz and their reaction. Skip to verse 7, V'hit kadishtem, v'hitem kedoshim, ki, ani Adonai Elohechem. Actions to prevent the death cult is itself an act of bringing holiness to God's sanctuary. Wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom.